In the last lecture, we were studying the of MOS. We were studying the eccentric column when the load is not directly acting on the centroid of the column, and for those eccentric column, we were deriving some expression to calculate the maximum stresses or maximum deflection or maximum load which these kind of columns can carry if we know the cross-sectional properties. So we basically studied the introduction of columns or eccentric columns, and then we derive one relationship for maximum deflection which can occur in this type of column, and this was that relationship, and it is basically a correlation of eccentricity, this load P that is acting on the column, and length or effective length of the column, EI factors. And if we know these factors, we can compute that what is the maximum deflection that is taking place in these kind of columns. So today we are going to continue this derivation and derive some formulations for the maximum stress which can occur in these columns. So if you remember, we have this figure for the eccentric column where the load P was applied at an eccentricity E with respect to the centroidal axis. The length of the column is L, and this was the cross section or the section at any random distance. And if I write, initially also we use the equation of moment. So again, if I write this equation, it will be something, or if I want to calculate the moment at a point where this V is maximum, so again that will be P into E plus V maximum. V is the maximum deflection. If for let's say for any random deflection, we initially wrote the equation that was P into E plus V, but now if we want to write the equation for maximum deflection, let's say it is somewhere at this point, so the equation of moment will be something like this one. This P is the applied load, E is the eccentricity, and V is the maximum deflection. So just as I have shown you the relationship for maximum deflection which we derived in the last class, so if I substitute that relationship into this equation, so it will become M is equal to PE plus P into V maximum. So M is equal to PE plus P into E secant under root P over EI L over 2 minus 1. Yes. So this is our relationship for the moment at the point where the deflection is maximum. And since the deflection is maximum, so we can say that this moment is also maximum. At all other points in the column, the moment will be less than this value because this deflection will be less than this maximum value. Also, we know that since there are two loads that are acting in the cross section, one is this axial load P and the other one is this bending moment. And we are aware that if we want to compute the combined stresses, this axial load P is also producing the compressive stresses, and this bending moment is producing the compressive stress on this face, let's say, or on the right face. So if I want to calculate the maximum bending stresses or maximum stresses which is being produced at any cross section of this column, we know the formulation of combined loadings, which we have already applied in the case of beam. So that formulation was sigma maximum is equal to P over A plus MC over I, right? So this is our relationship for maximum bending stresses. Now there is one important point that we need to keep in mind. This C distance, it is basically the distance from this central face or the centroid of the axis to the extreme fiber, because we know that the bending stresses are maximum at the extreme fibers, either on the top side or on the bottom side. Now in this derivation or in this assumption, if you see in the books, you will also see that mostly they would just assume that the compressive stress, or because this is the C distance, so they would assume that this C distance or this C distance on the compression phase is greater than this C distance, which is the distance from the centroid to the phase where the tensile stresses are maximum. So that is why they would say that the governing stresses or the maximum stresses or maximum bending stresses are compressive. So we have simply added them, because for the case of this load P, we are for sure that the compressive stresses are acting. So we have basically taken the algebraic sum of this equation. But it can happen, but it is very rare in the case of column that you have a cross section where the C distance in tension is greater than the compression phase. But just for the sake of knowledge, you should know that in case if this provided C distance on the tension phase is greater than this C distance in the compression or compressive phase, then you have to use the negative sign over here, because this stress will be in tension or opposite to this compressive stress or compressive axial stress. So it is very rare in the case of column, but just for the sake of knowledge, you should know that what assumption or based on which assumption we have taken a positive sign over here, because you know the bending stresses can also be tensile or they are compressive as well. So in the case that the C distance on the tension side is greater, you would take the negative sign over here. Anyway, let's just continue with this. So if I substitute this moment equation into this one, I will get sigma maximum is equal to P over A plus PE, this equation. In fact, we could have simplified this one. If I multiply this, let me just simplify it a bit. If I multiply this PE with the factors inside, I will get PE plus PE into secant under root P over EI L over 2 minus PE. So these two terms will cancel out. So we will have this relationship for maximum bending moment, that is PE secant under root P over EI L over 2. So again, the relationship for maximum bending stresses was P over A plus MC over I. So this P over A will remain as it is. For M, I will replace M with this equation. So I will get PE, this C factor as it is, divided by I into secant under root P over EI L over 2. So this is our relationship for maximum bending stresses in the case of columns which are loaded which are eccentrically loaded. So if we just modify it a bit just to reduce the number of variables in this one, we know that I is equal to AR square, where R is the radius of gyration. So if I substitute this R, or if I replace this I with this factor, so what will I get in that case? Let's just simplify it a bit. Sigma maximum. So first let's take P over A as common in from this equation. If I take P over A as common, I will get 1 plus AEC over I secant under root P over EI. Class, try to understand what I am doing in each step, and if you have questions, just ask me. Don't get confused later on. So I have taken this P over A as common, and now I will substitute this value of I, that is AR square, into this equation, and I will get P over A 1 plus.
So ये A कैसे आया सर ऊपर?
I have taken this P over A factor as common, right?
P over A.
So over here there was no A, so I have to add
Yes.
a A. So when you multiply it again, that will be the same equation.
Right.
So this I is AR square secant into, there is an I over here as well, that is P over E into AR square L over 2. Right? This A will cancel out with this one. So I will be left with P over A into 1 plus EC over R square secant. This R will come out and it will be L over 2R under root P over E A. So this is the final form of the secant formula which is being used for the calculation of stresses or the loads if we know either of the factor. Now, in most of the books, you will see this as the general form of the secant formula. But obviously, for the design purposes, we can further make some modification, or we can replace some variable. We will do in next steps to make it convenient for us. So the general form for the secant formula is this one. And now let's talk a little about the application of this formula.
सर रेडियस ऑफ
Yes.
gyration और eccentricity हर केस में गिवन होगी ना?
Of course, because this radius of I'm coming to this point. So अब होता क्या है बेसिकली कॉलम्स के केस में आपको सेक्शन प्रोवाइड किया होगा. देयर कैन बी टू काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्लम. अगर तो आपको ये कोई भी सेक्शन दिया हुआ है तो उस सेक्शन के लिए आपको ये ई फैक्टर sorry, this R factor, this C factor, this L factor, again this R factor, this E, this A, they are all the cross-sectional properties or the properties related to the section or the dimension of the dimension of any column section or any column length. Again, if you are provided with this E factor and A factor, so the basic purpose of this formula is to calculate the stresses if the loads are given, and the second purpose is to calculate the load or the maximum load that the column can carry if you know the stresses, right? So अगर तो आपको ये load दिया मतलब you have been given this E, C, R square, A and E. These factors will be given in all the cases. But the second thing is if you have been provided this load P, then this equation is quite simple to use. You just simply replace this load P into this equation and all other factors, and you can directly compute this maximum stress, right? But in the case when this maximum stress is given to you, so first case is that the load is given and sigma max is to be calculated. So you can just simply substitute all the values into that equation and get the value. But the second case is that if you have been provided with sigma maximum and you are supposed to calculate this P, then how will you do that? This equation is not a linear equation like sigma is equal to P over A, where you will directly substitute P and you will get the values of A, because there is a P factor over here and over here there is a P factor. So one thing, one way is that you keep on simplifying it and get the values. So that can be a hectic procedure. So for now, there are calculators available. I think in your calculators also you can solve this kind of equation where you can write the whole equation in the calculator, and you will substitute this P factor as a variable, let's say just as X, and write same equation in your calculator and solve it, and you can directly get the values of P. But these calculators just came like maybe 20 years ago or 30 years ago. So previously what would happen, there are design charts for these kind of problems. You will see many such formula in the design of beams, slabs and column, which we will study later on. That this is a trial and error procedure. Previously, when there was no calculators or no computers, then there were these graphs that were developed for these kind of columns. For example, if you know these values, there will be some variables on this graph that this is for this line, the E value is X, Y, Z, and C is this, R is this, or they may give the value in terms of EC over R square is this, L over 2R is this, then what is the load value for a particular compressive strength? So previously it was a trial and error procedure that you will calculate these factors EC over R square, then you will use the graphs and you will calculate the sigma maximum or the loads if sigma maximum is given. But now obviously you can use your calculator. So again, I'm telling you that try to update your calculators if you are using the old one, because you are definitely going to need a bit fast calculator, because even in the calculator, if you substitute this type of equation, it would take 4 or 5 minutes to give you the answer. So try to update your calculators so you can get the answers quickly. So these are the two basic application of this secant formula. And another important concept in this one is the concept of working load and factor of safety. So ये जब भी हम लोग कॉलम का डिजाइन कर रहे हैं, so for example, let's say if a company asks you to design a column and they would say that this column has to carry the load of 20 kilonewton, for example. So what does design mean? In design, we are supposed to calculate the stresses considering this load, and then we will report based on these stresses, we will select a particular section, or maybe the designer or the client will specify that we need to use this section only. So based on this section, we will calculate the stresses, IE and other factors, and then we will propose that whether this section can carry this load or not. But actually in the design procedures, you can't use this load directly. For example, if the client says that the column has to carry the load of 20 kilonewton, so when you are designing or when you are calculating the stresses, you won't use this load directly into the equation. There are some factor of safety which you will apply to this equation, and these factor of safety are being specified by different design you can call this as institution. For example, there is an institution that is AACI, American Concrete Institute, which specify different factor of safety for different ranges of load or for different type of cross section. For example, let's say if we were told that we need to design a column for 20 kilonewton, so you will say that this is the working load which will act on the structure actually on site, but the design is based on the load P, which is actually a bit larger than this working load. And in some cases, this factor of safety is even 2. So for example, if the column has to carry the load of 20 kilonewton, you have to design it for the load of 40 kilonewton. Now this load PW is called as working load, and this load P is called as the load based on which we will design our column. And this P factor is greater than this PW by a factor of N, which is called as factor of safety. This factor of safety is usually specified either by the client, or if not, then as an engineer or as a designer, we need to look into different codes. For example, ACI, and there are some other codes as well, which specify that how much N factor you have to use based on the site condition, section requirement, loading requirements, and there are some other factors as well. So this is the concept of working load and factor of safety. So this is one thing, and another thing is that what is the maximum?
हमारा
Yes.
जो है वो factor of safety है.
Yes. N is the factor of safety. Then how much safety we are providing with this column? So what will happen that we will design the column of 40 kilonewton, and in the whole life of the column, it will experience a load of 20 kilonewton. So we are on the safer side. So that is why we call this factor as N, that how much or by how much factor we have increased the load during the design procedure. And the second thing is what is the maximum stress. For example, in this formula, this is the formula for the maximum stress. Obviously, for any cross section, for any cross section we have, or for any type of steel members or even concrete member, we have the ultimate stress at which it is going to break. If this is the stress strain curve of, let's say, a steel member, then this is the yielding load, and this somewhere over here is the ultimate load on which it is going to break. And this ultimate load may be larger than the yielding load in most of the cases. But again, while we are designing, we are not considering this ultimate load. We will assume that the column will fail at this yield stress. Okay, so obviously after yield stress, there will be some large deflection for a significant amount of time. But still, to be on the safer side, we would assume in our design, as our design criteria, that this column is going to fail at yielding. So during its whole life, the stresses should not exceed this yield stress, even though actually it can go up to the ultimate stress. But still, to be on the safer side, we would say that it is going to fail. So the maximum stress that can occur in the column during its life is sigma yp. And if I substitute sigma yp into that formulation, so that will again be 1 plus EC over R square secant it is outside. So let's say if a person or if a company or if a client asks you that this is a column which has been already constructed in my house or in my company, and on this column the load of 20 kilonewton is acting, right? So he wants to know that how much stress is, or what is the failure stresses, or what is the failure criteria for this type of column, right? So again, this load which is acting on the column actually is the load PW, which is the working load. Okay, it is slightly less than this P factor. So again, we will calculate the P factor based on the factor of safety, or by applying the factor of safety, and then we will substitute this P load into this equation, and then we can tell him that this column, or the maximum allowable stresses, or the maximum stresses which are allowed in this column are, let's say, X, Y, Z, whatever the value we will get from this one. So these are basically used for the analysis procedures where you want to know that how much or what is the maximum stress which this type of a column can be. So these are the concepts.
ग्राफ में
Yes.
सिग्मा yp जो है, ये जो फर्स्ट डॉट है ये वाला होगा.
Yes, yield stress is obviously over here where stress strain curve is linear. This one. If this is the stress and this is the strain. So this over here is sigma yp. By the way, have you completed the tension test on the steel member in some lab?
Yes, sir.
So you
Sir.
know that how this graph works, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the concept of working loads and factor of safety. The other thing is, what are the requirement of design of column? By design, we basically means that we need to specify, for example, the client will tell us that this is the load which will act on the column throughout its life, and we need and he will say he will give us some requirement that the total height of the column should not exceed, let's say, 100 meters, or he can say that the width should not exceed 20 meters. So by design, it basically means that we will follow the trial and error procedure and select some section. We would say that let's provide this section W360 by 200 in this for this column. And based on this section, we will calculate these factors E, R, because these factors are given to you based on this. E is obviously not given. It should be specified that how much eccentricity is over here. And based on the section, we know that these factors are related to the sectional properties. So based on this section, we will find these factors from the section tables, and then we will calculate the stresses by using the formula for maximum stresses, which we already have. So then in the final step, we also know for this section what is the yield stress. For any type of section, the yield stress is also provided to you. So you will calculate the maximum stresses And if this maximum stresses are less than sigma yp, we can say that this section is okay and we can use it for this type of load and the height requirements are satisfied. But in the case when sigma maximum is, if we select this section and we calculate this sigma maximum again, and if this sigma maximum comes out to be greater than the yield stress, then we will say that this section is definitely going to fail, and we have to do the trial number 2 and select some stronger section, or the section which have a more higher weight or better factor or good factor, these fact, or we will select a section for which we can get the sigma maximum less than sigma yp, considering all these requirement. But another,
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
हमें sigma yp given होगा इस case में?
yes, sigma yp is dependent on the type of section, and also it should be specified because it is a one of the criteria. I can write it over here.
और सिर्फ जो
तो
आपने previously explain किया है उसमें भी given होगा like sigma yp, या फिर हम लोग वो calculate कर रहे हैं और फिर compare कर रहे हैं?
In this one, yes, it is given sigma yp, but this is kind of an analysis problem where you need to specify that what is the maximum stress. But this is a
Sir, ये equation तो हमने sigma max के लिए use करनी है ना?
But again, if you have been provided the section, so this sigma yp is obviously less than, or the maximum stress which can occur in the column is equal to sigma yp. So practically it is equal to sigma maximum, right? Because the just consider it as an analysis problem where you have been provided this section, okay? So you need to figure out that what is the maximum stresses. Obviously, those maximum stresses is equal to sigma yp, because in our design criteria, we are taking that the maximum stresses should not exceed sigma yp. Either it should be less than or it should be very close to sigma yp. Okay.
सर तो हमें सेक्शनिंग की रिक्वायरमेंट्स नहीं दी होंगी जो आप कह रहे हैं कि फिर हमें ट्रायल्स में सेक्शन चेंज करना पड़ेगा?
During for the design case, yes, we will be given the section, these requirement for some section, that height should be this, width should be this one, sigma yp should be this one, or you need to provide the W section or the L section or whatever is the case. So, what is your question?
मतलब सर आप जो ट्रायल कह रहे हैं कि मतलब अगर सिग्मा मैक्स ज्यादा आ जाता है तो हमने दूसरा ट्रायल लेंगे जिसमें सेक्शन डिफरेंट होगा, मुझे वो बात ट्रायल वाली बात समझ नहीं आई।
हाँ, अगर देखें आपके पास आपने ये सेक्शन लिया, ठीक है, इस सेक्शन के लिए आपने ये सब प्रॉपर्टीज, ये सब फैक्टर्स आपको पता थे, फिर आपने अपनी इक्वेशन यूज करके सिग्मा मैक्सिमम निकाला, राइट? तो अब आपने उस सिग्मा मैक्सिमम को सिग्मा yp से कंपेयर किया जो कि आपको ऑलरेडी प्रोवाइड किया हुआ है, ठीक है? अगर तो वो सिग्मा मैक्सिमम सिग्मा yp से लेस है, ठीक है, उसका मतलब ये है कि आपका जो सिग्मा आ रहा है जो कि इस कॉलम में मैक्सिमम स्ट्रेसेस प्रोड्यूस होंगी वो लेस है सिग्मा yp से, मतलब वो यहाँ कहीं पे लाई कर रही होंगी, तो इसका मतलब है आपका कॉलम सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है इस रिक्वायरमेंट को, राइट? और इस कॉलम का वेट, और अगेन अब आप दूसरा सेक्शन लेते हो, ऑब्वियसली इस केस में तो आपका ट्रायल 1 अगर सेटिस्फाई हो गया तो वेल एंड गुड है। अगर आपके सिग्मा मैक्सिमम जो है वो ग्रेटर आ जाता है सिग्मा yp से, तो वो यहाँ कहीं आ जाएगा, मतलब सिग्मा yp से ज़्यादा आ जाएगा, तो मतलब कि वो स्ट्रेसेस जो उसके अंदर प्रोड्यूस हो रही हैं वो ज़्यादा है सिग्मा yp से। लेकिन हमारा डिज़ाइन क्राइटेरिया ये है कि स्ट्रेसेस थ्रू आउट इट्स लाइफ यील्ड स्ट्रेस से एक्सीड नहीं करनी चाहिए। तो इस केस में फिर हम क्या करेंगे, ट्रायल 2 लेंगे जिसमें थोड़ा हम हैवी सेक्शन सेलेक्ट करेंगे जिसका वेट ज़्यादा होगा, ताकि जो मैक्सिमम स्ट्रेस उसमें प्रोड्यूस हो वो लेस हो जाए सिग्मा yp से, ठीक है
सर?
यस।
जिस तरह हमने इकोनॉमिक सेक्शन में किया था, वो टेबल में हम ढूंढते थे सिग्मा मैक्स और इसके अलावा आई सेक्शन सेलेक्ट कर लेते थे, तो बिल्कुल इस तरह इसी में भी करेंगे या नहीं ट्रायल्स में?
इकोनॉमिक सेक्शन कौन सा?
जिसमें हम एस बाई सी की कुछ वो
लास्ट सेमेस्टर में था वो।
हाँ, इसमें भी आप उसी टेबल्स के थ्रू सेलेक्ट करेंगे सेक्शंस।
ओके सर।
तो
सर एक और बात कि वो जो पिछला क्वेश्चन था उसका कि सेक्शन अगर हम चेंज करेंगे तो उसमें सिर्फ वेट का आपका चेंज आएगा, हाइट और विड्थ तो उसमें सेम रहेगी, आपकी जो रिक्वायरमेंट्स
नो
थी उसी की
मतलब आपके पास एक W सेक्शन होता है, ये 200 फैक्टर शो कर रहा होता है कि इसका वेट है 200 किलोग्राम पर मीटर क्यूब और आई थिंक मीटर स्क्वायर, आई थिंक इट्स मीटर क्यूब। ओके, तो फिर आप थोड़ा हैवी सेक्शन सेलेक्ट करोगे, ऑब्वियसली उस सेक्शन वो 360 बाय 150 होगा, लेकिन इसकी सब प्रॉपर्टीज चेंज हो जाएंगी, दिस आई फैक्टर भी चेंज होगा, मतलब ये डिफरेंट एक सेक्शन होगा। लेकिन आपको पहला ट्रायल आइडिया दे देगा कि अब आपको हैवी सेक्शन सेलेक्ट करना है या लाइटर सेक्शन सेलेक्ट करना है, या ये सेक्शन ओके। अब आपने ये भी नहीं ना करना कि आपका सिग्मा मैक्सिमम, लेट्स से सिग्मा वाई पी 100 है और सिग्मा मैक्सिमम आप कैलकुलेट करते हो वो 5 आ जाता है। आल्दो ये सेक्शन फेल नहीं करेगा, लेकिन ये सेक्शन इतना हैवी होगा कि इट वुड बी टू मच अनइकोनॉमिकल। तो आपको कुछ ऐसा सेक्शन सेलेक्ट करना है कि आपकी ये वैल्यूज रिलेटिवली बहुत ही क्लोज हो, राइट। तो पहले ट्रायल से आपको आइडिया हो जाएगा कि अब आपको हैवी सेक्शन की तरफ जाना है या लेस सेक्शन या लाइटर सेक्शन की तरफ जाना है। ठीक है,
ओके सर।
सर
और
हैवी
सर
सेक्शन
सेकंड
से सिग्मा मैक्स की वैल्यू ज़्यादा आएगी या कम आएगी?
ऑब्वियसली जो आप हैवी सेक्शन सेलेक्ट करोगे तो स्ट्रेसेस वो ज़्यादा अच्छी रेजिस्ट कर लेगा, तो सिग्मा मैक्स की वैल्यू कम होती जाएगी। मतलब देखो ना, एक 100 किलो न्यूटन का सेक्शन है जस्ट फॉर द एग्जांपल, और एक 20 किलो न्यूटन का सेक्शन है, तो इसको बेंड होने में ज़्यादा टाइम लगेगा कि इसको बेंड होने में ज़्यादा टाइम लगेगा? मतलब ये सेक्शन स्ट्रॉन्ग है ना, तो इसको बेंडिंग करने के लिए आपको ज़्यादा लोड चाहिए होगा, मतलब इसमें जो स्ट्रेसेस प्रोड्यूस हो रही होंगी वो कम हो रही होंगी। इसी तरह जो 20 किलो न्यूटन जो लेस वेट है जिस सेक्शन का, वो जल्दी बेंड हो जाएगा, मतलब उसमें स्ट्रेसेस ज़्यादा प्रोड्यूस हो जाएंगे और जल्दी प्रोड्यूस हो जाएंगे।
एक्सक्यूज मी सर।
यस,
सर वैसे तो देखा जाए तो सिग्मा अल्टीमेट पे जो है कॉलम का फेलियर होता है ना एक्चुअली, तो अब जाहिर है डिफरेंस तो होगा थोड़ा बहुत, थोड़ा नहीं बल्कि ज़्यादा ही सिग्मा वाईपी और सिग्मा अल्टीमेट में। तो अगर थोड़ा सा ही एक्सीड करती है वैल्यूज सिग्मा मैक्स की सिग्मा वाईपी से, तो तब भी हम उसे कंसिडर नहीं करेंगे या उसको फिर कंसिडर कर सकते हैं कंसिडरिंग के वैल्यू
नहीं,
जो
यू
वो
यू
वैल्यू।
बेटर शुड नॉट, फिर वो थोड़े कुछ कुछ लिमिट तो हमें डिफाइन करनी है ना। अब आप कहेंगे कि 10 है सिग्मा वाई भी, आप 12 वाला ले लो, कोई और कहेगा सर इससे अगर थोड़ा सा एक्सीड कर दिया तो फिर वो 14 पे चला जाएगा, कोई और कहेगा इससे थोड़ा सा, तो वी नीड टू डिफाइन सम लिमिट, तो दैट लिमिट इज फुल एंड फाइनल, दैट इज सिग्मा वाई, इससे लेस ही होना चाहिए। ठीक है, so this is a brief idea that how would you select the section, and for that obviously again there was some modification in our original secant formula. So let's just do again a bit of derivation to make it convenient for ourselves. So the initial formula that we derived for sigma maximum, or the initial secant formula, was P over A into 1 plus EC over R square secant under root L over 2, sorry this is outside, L over 2 under root P over EI. By the way, have you got it that from where I got this formulation? Because over here, if you see that there is EA factor. Anyone? Why I'm writing EI over here?
It is equal to A.
What?
I is equal to sir A R square.
So again, in that equation, I have moved that R factor inside, and again it will be AR square. So I can replace it by I. So try to focus or understand each step. So Let's say if I again multiply this back, I will get P over A plus PEC over AR square secant L over 2 under root P over EI. Now you know one formula, that is section modulus, which correlates the C factor with the I factor. So the section modulus is S is equal to I over Y, and for every type of section, this section modulus is being specified in the design column. For different axes, we know that what is the maximum distance from the centroid to the outermost fiber, and therefore this factor is specified. So we want to include this S factor into this formulation. So if I simplify this I is again AR square, and this Y we have represented by the C factor. So if I substitute this S into this equation, I will get sigma maximum is equal to P over A plus P E. This AR square, the C over AR square is equal to 1 over S. So it will come over here as S, and we will have secant into L by 2 under root 2 over, P over EI. P over A plus E over S secant L over 2 under root 2. Yeah. And also you know that in the case of column which are loaded right on the centroid, we have one formula. This is one form which we will be mostly using in the design problem. So again, there is another form that we know for the Euler formula, which is for the column which are loaded right on the centroidal axis. We have this factor pi square EI over L square. So for this one, we have this factor if I just modify this one, I will get this L square will go over here, and pi square EI over PCR, and L will be under root pi square EI over PCR. So if I replace this L factor into this equation, I will get sigma maximum is equal to P over A plus PE over S secant under root pi square EI into P over EI, and outside we have 1 over 2. So this pi factor can come out because there is a square, so I can write it over here as pi. This EI will be cancelled with this. There is another factor, PCR. So the final form will be sigma maximum is equal to P over A plus PE over S secant pi by 2 and the root P over PCR. So again, if you are being provided with a load or the critical load when it is being loaded right on the centroid and you want to calculate any other factor, you can also use this equation. So this is another form. So there are different representations, and it depends on the question requirements or the provided values that which form you are supposed to use. So this is all about the derivations and some small concepts. Let's solve one example problem and see how things work.
सर
Yes.
क्रिटिकल जोन से ये यील्डिंग स्ट्रेस होगा पी क्रिटिकल
PCR?
पी क्रिटिकल जोन से ये यील्डिंग स्ट्रेस है लोड जोन से
No, it is the load if the column is loaded right on the centroid. And this P is the load when the column is loaded at some eccentricity.
ये तो वो नहीं लोड होगा पी क्रिटिकल जब बिल्कुल फेल होने से बिल्कुल थोड़ी देर पहले का होता है क्रिटिकल.
It is the same value, but in this case it is the Euler load because we have been using this factor. So critical load for the Euler formula, you can say that, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So, or you can write it as PE for if you are confused. But I'm not using the E symbol because there is another E over here, so it can get confusing. So let's solve one example problem. We have this column in which the section is specified that the section is W14 into 61, which is used as a simply supported column. The simply supported column again is the same column as we have made our derivations for. The length is given as 25 feet. So the load that is acting on the column. Now this column has already been designed, right? And can anyone tell me that what is this load? P or PW? Anyone?
So PW होगा ना.
So it would be PW, which is acting on the column. So the load is applied and the eccentricity is also given to us, that is 4 inch. And the first thing we need to figure out is the maximum compressive stress which would develop in this column, right? So the maximum stress is compressive stress is obviously, we know the formula of maximum compressive stress. We know that the column is the load that is acting on this column is 150 kips. So again, we will use our formulation for this load 150, and based on this load, we can figure out that what is the maximum stress that is being developed in this column when this load of 150 kips is acting. Second thing is we need to figure out the factor of safety against yielding. We have one formulation for yielding, and in this one, you have been given this yield stress that is 36 into 10⁻3. And the third factor is we need to figure out the maximum lateral deflection. For the lateral deflection, we also have one formulation for V maximum. We will use that and get the stresses or lateral stresses, whatever you can call it. And obviously, since the eccentricity is being given with respect to z-axis, so buckling always occurs, or the bending always occurs on the axis which is perpendicular to the axis on which load is being applied. So in this case, the buckling is going to occur about z-axis, and they have specified that the buckling does not occur about y-axis. The E factor is also given to us, and let's solve this. So the first thing, we need to figure out the maximum stresses which are developed in the column when this load of 150 kp is acting. So the load PW is given to us, that is 150 kps. Sigma YP is given to us, that is 36 into 10⁻³ for the unit PSI. And length is given as 25 feet. E is given as 4 inch. And our formulation was for sigma maximum as P over A plus PE over S secant L over 2 under root P over EI. Okay, so the bending is taking place about z-axis, so we will substitute the I factor for z-axis, or yes. So from this figure, we can say we can see that the section is W14 by 61. Okay, now we need to look into our section tables to figure out that what is the S factor for this column, what is the area, but the area we don't need in this one. So we only need this I factor, this L. Obviously we also need the area. So we need to figure out or find these factors from our column table. But again, since we need to find the maximum stress which are being developed, or maximum compressive stress which are developed in this column for this load PW, so over here we will use the load PW, not the load P, because we need to specify that what are the stresses when this load is acting on it. So from the section table, I have just added the screenshot over here. You can see that for this section W14/61, we have the area as 17.9 inch square. This S factor for the, actually I should have added the initial picture. Okay, anyway. This is our column, and for this column, this is the y-axis and this is the z-axis. Okay, so this x-axis is, in this diagram or in this section table, they have considered this x-axis or the z-axis equal to x-axis. So the I factor for this column was, where is that? This over here, that is 650 inch 4 for this z-axis. Also, the third factor we need is this S factor, which is 92.1 inch cube. So we will use these factors into this equation. So now we know from section table A is equal to 17.9 inch square, I is equal to 640 inch 4, and SZ is equal to 92.1 inch cube. So we simply have to substitute this factor and
Sir?
we will, yes.
सर आपने IG 640 क्यों लिया, वो दूसरी क्यों नहीं ली?
Because the bending is about z-axis. In the question it has been specified that this bending, there is no buckling about y-axis, so obviously it is about z-axis. So I will take the factors of for z. So let's substitute these values. So this PW will be 150 into 10 raised to 3 pounds. The area is 17.9. Plus again this PW is 150 into 10 raised to power 3. This eccentricity, it is given as 4 inch. This S factor is given as 92.1. Secant length is 25 into 12 divided by 2. And this P factor is again 150 into 10 raised to power 3. E is given as 29 into 10 raised to power 6. And I is 640. So what will be the maximum stress in this column due to this load of 150?
सर ये बता देंगे किस तरह आपको PW पता चला था P से क्वेश्चन में देख के?
Give me this answer, then I will explain. Anyone? Is it that complex?
Sir, 14.9 KSI.
14.93 and
14.959 KSI.
KSI. In
Yes,
KSI, so in PSI, I have the answer as 15.53 into 10 raised to power 3 PSI. So it should be close, or you can try it again, you will get the same answer. So about this PW, okay. So in the question, it has been specified that this load of 150 kips is acting on the column. So इसका मतलब ये है कि ये कॉलम ऑलरेडी बन गया हुआ है, ठीक है, इस पे लोड लग रहा है. So वही मैंने आपको जैसे पहले मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया था कि जो लोड कॉलम के ऊपर एक्ट कर रहा होगा एक्चुअल फील्ड में, दैट लोड विल बी वर्किंग लोड. ओके, लेकिन जिस बेस पे ये कॉलम डिजाइन हुआ हुआ है वो लोड शायद इससे ज्यादा होगा, और वो कितना ज्यादा होगा, वो मे बी 2 टाइम्स हो इसके, या जो भी फैक्टर ऑफ सेफ्टी होगा वो उतना टाइम उससे ज़्यादा होगा. अब इसी क्वेश्चन में अभी तो आपसे ये पूछा गया कि द मैक्सिमम कंप्रेसिव स्ट्रेस इस कॉलम में कितनी होगी बेस्ड ऑन दिस लोड ऑफ 150 किप्स. अगर इसी को मैं थोड़ा सा चेंज कर दूं क्वेश्चन को, और यहाँ लिखता हूँ कि व्हाट विल बी द मैक्सिमम कंप्रेस और व्हाट इज द डिजाइन कंप्रेसिव स्ट्रेस, लाइक से डिजाइन कंप्रेसिव स्ट्रेस, तो उस केस में क्या होगा मेरे पास. उस केस में जब मैं सिग्मा मैक्सिमम का फॉर्मूला यूज करूंगा तो मैं उसमें पी यूज करूंगा, राइट, क्योंकि वो डिजाइन ज्यादा लोड के लिए हुआ होगा.
यस समझ आ गया.
सो दिस इज व्हाट वी वर डिस्कसिंग. और फिर मैं उस सिग्मा मैक्सिमम को सिग्मा वाई पी भी कह सकता हूँ, क्योंकि ये जो मैक्सिमम स्ट्रेस होगी ये ऑब्वियसली इसके समवट क्लोज ही होगी. तो दिस कैन आल्सो बी द यील्डिंग स्ट्रेस. So this was the question that was being asked by Asna, I think, that what is the difference between sigma and maximum.
सर हमने फैक्टर ऑफ सेफ्टी कैसे निकाला?
इसमें तो ऑब्वियसली, लेकिन ये फैक्टर ऑफ सेफ्टी स्पेसिफाई किया होगा बिकॉज ये डिजाइन कोड्स की वैल्यूज होती हैं बेस्ड ऑन द लोड. So you can't, but in the next step we have to calculate the factor of safety. So we can also calculate ourselves. Don't just assume that it would be given always.
सर दूसरी क्लास कब होगी?
Yeah. Again, sorry मेरा माइक, क्या कह रहे थे आप?
सर दूसरी क्लास कब है?
ये क्लास अभी चल रही है ना, 1 बजे तक.
ब्रेक नहीं देना है आपने?
सर कितनी देर की क्लास सर ये
खत्म हो जाएगी पहले 1 बजे तक. So let's just complete this, then we can have a break. Just complete this one, then we can have a break. So the second thing is that we need to figure out that what is the factor of safety against yielding. Okay, so now we have to use our other formulation, or the same formulation basically, but since it has been asked that how much factor of safety they have taken, so we need to use the P factor in this one. So again, if I write my equation, I will have P over A plus PE over SC secant L over 2 under root P over EI Z, right? Now this P is the actual load जिस पे ये कॉलम डिजाइन हुआ है, राइट. सो दिस P is equal to NPW, क्योंकि इसमें अब मैं यील्डिंग स्ट्रेस ले रहा हूँ, जो ये मैक्सिमम स्ट्रेस है जो कि ये कॉलम रेजिस्ट कर रहा है. ये वाली जो स्ट्रेस है, लेट्स नॉट कॉल इट एज मैक्सिमम नाउ, ये वाली जो स्ट्रेस है ये वो स्ट्रेस है जो कि वर्किंग लोड जब अप्लाई हो रहा है तब उसमें डेवलप हो रही है, और ये जो स्ट्रेस है ये मैक्सिमम स्ट्रेस है जो कि ये कॉलम रेजिस्ट कर सकता है, और ये हमें स्पेसिफाई की हुई है क्वेश्चन में, दैट इज 36 × 10⁻³ So this P is equal to NPW, or we need to tell them, or we need to report that what factor of safety has been taken in this question. So first we will compute this P factor, then we know PW and we will get the factor of safety. So this sigma YP is 36 × 10⁻³, that is equal to P over A, and this P factor again is unknown, eccentricity is given as 4, S factor is 92.1, secant, length is 25 × 12 to convert it into inches. This is to convert over 2 under root. This P factor again is unknown. Now this E is 29 × 10⁻⁶ by 640. Now this is what I was telling you when we were discussing the application. Now if you want to calculate this P load, can you do it by simply moving this one over here, this over here. You can't do that. It won't be that simple because inside there is a p factor with the angle as well. So if anyone can do this on calculator, anyone does anyone know how to solve this in calculator? Class.
Zain.
Do you know how to solve this equation in calculator? So for other student, I would say just learn this. Every calculator has this function. So for now, let me give you the answer. The answer for P is 328.5 into 10 raised to power 3 pounds. So now we have this P factor. We know the working load is 150 into 10 raised to power 3 pounds. And we know the relationship between P and the working stress, that is P is equal to NPW, and we need to figure out this N factor. So what will be this N factor? That will be 150 into 10 raised to power 3 N. So what is N? 2.19. So this shows कि अगर ये कॉलम 330 पाउंड का लोड रेजिस्ट कर सकता है, लेकिन ये डिजाइन और इस पे लोड एक्ट कितना करेगा थ्रू आउट इट्स लाइफ, it won't be more than 150. So this is how much safe our structures are, or how much factor of safety we consider. Just to, and the reason is that maybe people don't trust this mathematics as much as we do. So that is why we have to take significant factor of safety. Now imagine if there is a house in which we have to install 100 kg of steel, but just because of this factor of safety of 2, now we are installing a 200 kg steel section, or total steel of let's say 200 kg. So almost the cost of construction gets double just because of these factors of safety. But obviously we have to take this in considerations just to be on the safer side later on. And the third part in this question was to figure out the maximum deflection. And for that, we have one formulation again, that is V maximum is equal to E into secant P L E square, oh sorry, L square divided by 4 EI minus 1. So what is the E factor? That is 4. This secant, this P over here is again the working load which is acting on the, or I should write as PW. This L square is 25 and I have to convert it into inches, so I would multiply it with 12 over 4 into 29 to 10 raised to 6 multiplied by 640, that is I minus 1. So what will be V maximum? Anyone?
$5.7.
5.7. Anyone else?
1.1 into 10 raised by minus 4.
How much? I didn't get you.
से मेरा गलत है, ध्यान बताओ। 225
425.
225
Sir, this is too much large.
That's why I'm always saying you just update your calculators.
3 inches है।
I have answer as 0.39. So this is what the answer is. I don't know what mistake. For angle, maybe you are making the mistake in angle. Let me just solve it again. Anyway, you can try. This angle is for, let's just reconfirm. Yes. Okay. This angle is this one with this factor only, and 4 is being multiplied with the whole equation. Then and now try to solve this and you will get this answer. Anyway, let's have a 10 minutes break and again we will meet and solve another question.
क्लास है सर,
What?
कितनी देर की क्लास है? 2 घंटे की क्लास है?
Yes, these are the two classes.